right?
Yep.
Chauncey Billups said last night that Kyrie is the most skilled point guard that's in the history of the NBA. And Sam, I want to believe that. I've said it. I want to believe it. But it scares me that if we're putting that out as a story, or that we're putting that out as an accolade or a moniker that you could put on Kyrie, dude, if you give him that, then it's why none of this shit in Brooklyn matters. It's why he's gonna go back to his TP in Jersey and say, fuck y'all. I'm the most skilled point guard that ever lived. That shit, and the way he answered it, it was like, oh shit, him and Kanye West are like the same dude. Because when they told him, he was like, well, you know, that's, yeah. When they told him what Chauncey said, he was like, that's right. Me saying that, again, does that make Kyrie a bad person? No. No, because a lot of people have fell for, you know, the illusion of fame. I told you the Diddy story. Every 2 feet that he went, somebody was worshiping him.
Yep.
You know, walking down the block, I'm telling you, I would not lie to you. The moment people recognized him, people were dropping to their knees. And that's what's happening with Kyrie. Like every day he could go on Twitter and see all of these fake not really net fans, but they're really Kyrie stans, just suck him off every morning.
Yep.
And to me, if you can leave a person without criticism, you're not a good friend. If your friend can't tell you, hey, your mic suck on your podcast, which our mic suck on our podcast, we really need to do better. But if my friend can't tell me that, what kind of friend was that? What kind of friend, if your friends can't tell you when you're wrong, when you're hurting me, when you're taking advantage of me, what kind of friends are you, Kyrie stans? You know how hard it'll be for KD to defend his NBA existence or how great he was, his brilliance. You know, Kyrie lives in his headspace. Kevin Durant's a little bit more prickly. And people are going to talk about how he wasn't able to get the job done here forever. He's going to wear that. He's going to wear the I went to get a championship with these other guys and failed at it when I built the team myself. The person that Kyrie, the betrayal that I'm talking about, it comes from the fact that KD just believes and loves this dude. He's vaxxed though. He loves this dude. And I don't fault KD for loving his boy, for appreciating his art, for recognizing his greatness, and for not judging him for hurting him. But I don't respect Kyrie for not recognizing, oh shit, my brothers are in trouble. We're not in sync right now. Our chemistry looks crazy. I owe this team and my friend who believed in me, who put his reputation and legacy on the line. Basketball means everything to Kevin Durant. They asked Kevin Durant, what clubs you go to? Where do you hang out? What's your hobbies? He's like, basketball is my hobby.
Yeah, I'm a homebody.
Oh, he hits the club. Don't get me wrong. He runs this city. But that shit is not important to him. That shit is not a priority for Kevin Durant. He loves basketball. He wants to win. It's right there for him. You're injury prone, Kyrie Irving. You ain't there sometimes because you're not physically prepared. You're not physically capable, excuse me, is what I meant more so. And you would find any and other reasons to just not make it. We've seen you do it 3 times as Net fans. Time number 1, your shoulder got hurt. You didn't even let people look at it and you dipped. Am I lying on him, Sam? Am I lying? I'm sorry. Did I make that up?
No, I'm with you.
It happened, right?
Yep.
I just did something different from my mic to my mic. Right?
Yeah.
Last year, he dipped to throw his sister a birthday party. He didn't tell nobody anything. They asked Steve Nash. Steve Nash is in the press conference. They're asking him, where's Kyrie? He didn't know at the time. Does that make Steve Nash a bad coach? He covered for them. He took us to the second round. He almost made Budenholzer lose his job. Budenholzer was getting fired, right? If we eliminated him, Kyrie doesn't get hurt. Budenholzer was getting fired, right?
Yep.
What if Kyrie played all those games and we got the first seed? What if Kyrie didn't dip and we got the number 2 seed or the number 1 seed or a seed that would have made us get the Bucks in the 3rd round instead of the 2nd? I mean, I know that's a lot of what ifs, but those are feasible what ifs. If you showed up and did your job, maybe we would have been better. Maybe Kevin Durant's legacy would be secure. Maybe his place on the NBA Mount Rushmore would be secure. Now they're going to say, if that man doesn't win a championship in Brooklyn, they're going to say he went out like a sucker. And they're going to have the chorus of Knicks fans, that's millions of them, which I tried to explain to him. If he went to the Knicks and failed, they still would have loved him. And they would have loved him in droves. It's worse if he fails in Brooklyn, because if he fails in Brooklyn, you're going to have a horde of Knicks fans reminding him every single day that he didn't come to the Knicks and he failed. And it won't be his fault, because the man, you can't even get him out the lineup. He wants to win. And I wake up this morning to all these people, fire Steve Nash. He doesn't know what he's doing. Steve Nash is a fool. What was he supposed to do? I used to think he was playing these rookies as an experiment, Sam, but he's playing them as a necessity. And we're shitting on him? We're shitting on him? LaMarcus Aldridge is risking his life to play basketball. They give him a break after catching COVID while having a bad heart. And you selfish bastards is trying to say, oh, why ain't he playing? You Kyrie stans is sitting here and want to tell me and Sam that we're fucked up, that we're bad people because, like, people on the team are making real life sacrifices? Dog, being a champion is, for an athlete, is everything. Y'all are rich. Y'all got all the women. Y'all drive all the cars. You have all the stuff. The thing that makes it all clear that is winning the last game of your season. And guess what, Kyrie Irving? Because you believe that basketball is entertainment and it don't matter, you fucking over your friend. And
Yeah.
no other net pod will say it, but I'll say it. I'm sorry, Sam. I don't know if I put you in some bullshit.
No, I mean, I mean, as you know, I agree with everything you said. I mean, like, look, if you're taking the whole like Kyrie thing in stages, like, or in I guess it's a layered issue, but like you have number one, him standing for an issue that is completely contradictory to everything else he stands for in terms of what its consequences are and who it affects,
Yeah,
and
protecting people, keeping people safe,
specifically people of his own community who have been the most destroyed by this virus
and continue to be.
and continue to be. And so like you have that. So he's not only standing on the wrong side of this, and then because he's standing on the wrong side of this, he is not in the lineup and is fucking over his team and his friends, and he's able to use this absolutely ridiculous excuse that Nets fans have been, and specifically Kyrie fans, which I always like to amend, who use, well, yeah, but if Eric Adams didn't do the mandate and we had the same rules as other cities, yada yada yada, and it's just like, dude, like you live in a city and a state like that has different rules than other places. Do I think the rule is like the most ideal, perfect thing ever written? Like, no, and it might get changed because all these other cities are doing stuff, but it's like,
But Sam, look at the sick thing about it. Look, the sick thing about that statement that you're making is in other cities, people are dying.
yep,
In some of these Republican cities, people are dying, like they're still dying. In our city, people are living because we've gotten vaccinated.
yep,
And the least educated of us, the most at risk, the at risk communities, are still getting this sickness. And even if they get over it, they have debilitating sicknesses for years.
yep. And no, and so like, and like, so you have that element of it, and then he basically is given all of these excuses, but then isn't able to reap any of the or sorry, is unable to be criticized by his fans, which makes his fans just seem like utterly disingenuous and just don't argue in good faith, because if Kyrie, like, it's as we said, it's almost like the Trump thing. It's like if Kyrie shot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue, like the fans would still be like, yeah, well the victim probably deserved it. Like
Exactly.
like like there's this just like bizarre thing that's going on, and look, like this season from the jump like has just been a out and out like just chaotic crap, and it's caught up to them and then some, and
And it
because of
sucks that they prove right the people that when we signed Kyrie, the people that were saying you can't trust that dude. You can't trust that dude. And I was sitting there
yeah,
arguing and fighting and getting suspended off of Twitter defending Kyrie, and lo and behold, you can't trust that dude.
no, and look, and he like, I think that's a great point. Like he is for I think Kyrie, not in even a bad way, but I think he's vindictive in that he really loves to prove like the people who scream at him wrong, like the Stephen A's or whoever, or like the whoever it is, whatever critic it is. And right now, like the Nets are I mean, the Nets are like legitimately, from like a basketball perspective, they're like a laughing stock. I mean, they have three of the like 12 or 13 best players in basketball, including the best player and Harden, who like when he's in shape, which is another laughingstock part of the season, is a top 5, 6, 7 player, and they're losing to I mean, they're losing to legitimately like G League teams. Like they're like, this isn't like, oh, you know what? Like that's why I hated when people compared yesterday. They were like, oh, well, are Nets fans also going to talk about the fact that the Bucks lost yesterday? And it's like, dude, the Bucks lost to a Hornets team that first of all, the Bucks are allowed to lose games. Second of all, they lost to basically a fully healthy Hornets team that is a pain in anyone's rear end when you play them. The Nets lost to a G League Trailblazers team. The Blazers were one of the worst teams in basketball even before their four starters were out, and the Nets and the Nets still lost. So like,
Right.
I
And
just
what people aren't and what people are missing from that, just to piggyback off of that, Sam, is the fact that Nash had us a number one seed up until the point we announced Kyrie was coming back.
yep, yeah, and
That is the truth. We announced it. We lost a few games, and now we're a half game up from the third seed.
Yeah,